Ethan Cross was not a hero. He was just a human cargo pilot trying to survive another bad day in space. His small ship drifted near the edge of a ruined battlefield. Broken alien ships glowing like dying stars around him. Ethan had one job: grab the supply crate and leave before someone noticed him. The war out here was not human business. Alien empires fought like gods, throwing thunder at each other. Humans stayed away because one wrong move meant instant death. Ethan knew this, but credits were low and risk paid well. As he guided his ship closer, warning lights flashed. A massive alien cruiser exploded nearby, the shockwaves spinning his ship out of control. Ethan cursed under his breath and fought the controls. That was when he saw her. Floating in open space was a massive alien female warrior, nearly 7 feet tall, even without armor boosters. Her armor was cracked and smoking, glowing red lines running across it like angry scars. She held a broken blade in one hand, her eyes burning with fury and pain. Ethan stared, his heart pounding. Every alien story humans told spoke of monsters, but this one looked like a war goddess pulled from legend. Power rolled off her even as she drifted helplessly. Ethan had a choice: leave and live, or help and probably die. He sighed and muttered that humans always made bad choices. Then he turned his ship toward her, his ship's tractor beam locked on gently, pulling her toward the cargo bay. As the airlock sealed, alarms screamed, warning of unknown life form. Ethan ignored them and grabbed a med kit when the alien warrior opened her eyes inside the ship. The temperature seemed to drop. She moved fast, pinning Ethan to the wall with terrifying strength. Her glowing eyes locked onto his face, searching for fear. Ethan raised his hands slowly, trying not to panic. He knew screaming would not help. So he did the only thing his tired human brain could think of. He smiled. "Well," Ethan said carefully, "you fall from the sky often. Or am I just lucky today?" The alien froze. Her grip loosened slightly, confusion flickering across her sharp features. In her culture, no being joked in the face of death. Ethan kept going, because stopping now felt worse. "For someone crashing through a battlefield," he added, "you look pretty impressive." Silence filled the ship, broken only by humming systems. The alien slowly released him and stepped back. Standing tall and proud, she tilted her head, studying him like a puzzle. "You show boldness," she said, her voice deep and powerful, translated by the ship computer. "You speak without fear." "Even when your life is mine to take," Ethan swallowed, realizing this might have been a mistake. "Yeah?" he said, forcing a laugh. "Humans are weird like that." The alien placed her hand over her chest, a gesture heavy with meaning. "I am Valkyra," she said, "War Commander of the 5th Star Legion." Ethan's smile faded. That name hit him like a punch. Every space channel whispered stories about Valkyra the Unbroken, the alien war goddess who never lost a battle. "Oh," Ethan said softly, "that's, impressive." Valkyra stepped closer, towering over him. "You offered praise during my moment of weakness," she said. "In my culture, that is not humor." Ethan felt sweat run down his neck. He opened his mouth to explain, but she raised a hand. "It is a claim," she continued. "A declaration of intent." Ethan's heart skipped. "A claim," he repeated, confused. Valkyra nodded once, firm and final. "You showed courage, respect, and desire," she said. "You marked yourself as worthy." Before Ethan could respond, her ship's beacon activated. Outside, space lit up as massive alien warships jumped into the area. The 5th Star Legion had arrived. Ethan watched through the cockpit window as dozens of ships surrounded his tiny vessel. Weapons powered up, but none fired. Instead, every ship turned toward him. Valkyra activated a wide channel, her voice echoing across space. "This human," she declared, "has claimed me before battle and death." Ethan's knees felt weak. Alien ships began lowering their weapons. One by one, the massive vessels shifted position. Forming a protective ring around Ethan's ship, the war goddess turned to him, her expression unreadable. "From this moment," she said, "you are under my protection." Ethan stared at her, panic and disbelief mixing together. "I think," he said slowly, "there has been a really big misunderstanding." Valkyra's lips curved into something almost like a smile. "There is no misunderstanding," she replied. "You are brave enough to flirt with a war goddess." She leaned closer, her eyes glowing brighter. "That makes you husband material." Outside, alien warriors bowed toward his ship. Ethan looked at the stars and realized his simple cargo job had just changed his life forever. Ethan did not sleep. He sat in the pilot chair, while alien warships escorted his tiny cargo ship like royal guards. The stars outside felt closer, heavier, like they were watching him. Every sensor on his ship screamed warnings, yet no weapon aimed at him. Valkyra stood calmly behind him, her massive presence filling the small cockpit. She moved like a queen who had never known defeat. Even wounded, she carried power. Her armor slowly repaired itself with glowing energy lines. Ethan finally broke the silence. "So, just to be clear," he said carefully, "you don't really think I was serious back there, right?" Valkyra turned her head slightly, studying him again. "You speak with honesty now," she said. "That is good for a future bond." Ethan nearly choked. "Future what?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Bond," Valkyra repeated. "In my people's way, you declared intent before death. Only mates do that." Ethan rubbed his face. "This is bad," he whispered. The ship suddenly jumped into faster travel. Pulled by a massive alien carrier, stars stretched into light lines, and Ethan felt his stomach drop. He realized he was not being escorted anymore. He was being taken. "Where are we going?" Ethan asked, trying to stay calm. "To the Crimson Throne world." Valkyra replied, "My home, where warriors are judged and mates are claimed." That sentence hit harder than any weapon. Ethan's mind raced. He imagined alien courts, executions, experiments. Humans never came back from places like that. "But I didn't agree to anything," Ethan said, his voice rising. "This has to be a mistake. A translation error, something." Valkyra stepped closer, lowering herself slightly so her eyes met his. "You did agree," she said, calm but unmovable. "You spoke strength when fear was expected." Ethan clenched his fists. "In human culture," he said slowly, "we joke to survive fear." The ship translator paused. Processing, Valkyra's brow furrowed for the first time. "A joke," she repeated. "Testing the word." "Yes," Ethan said quickly. "A joke. Flirting does not mean claiming." Silence filled the cockpit again, heavier than before. Outside, alien ships flew in perfect formation. Unstoppable, Valkyra turned away, staring at the stars. "If this is true," she said, "then your kind plays with dangerous fire." Before Ethan could reply, alarms sounded across the alien fleet. A sharp signal echoed through space, hostile but controlled. A rival alien empire had detected Valkyra's presence. Screens lit up with enemy ships, sleek and dark, moving fast. "They hunt you," Ethan said without thinking. "Yes," Valkyra answered. "They fear me." The enemy fleet opened a channel, their leader's voice cold and mocking. "War goddess Valkyra." The voice said, "We see you travel with a fragile pet." Ethan swallowed. Pet was not a good word. Valkyra stepped forward and activated a full broadcast. "This human is under my claim," she declared. "Touch him, and you invite annihilation." The enemy fleet laughed. "A human," the voice replied. "We will take him first and watch you break." Weapons charged on both sides, space shaking with power. Ethan felt his chest tighten. He was about to die because of a joke. Then something unexpected happened. The alien fleet did not wait for Valkyra's command. They moved instantly, forming a shield around Ethan's ship. Ethan stared at the display. Shocked. "They are protecting me," he whispered. "Yes," Valkyra said proudly. You are marked. The battle exploded without warning. Energy beams tore through space, massive ships colliding. Ethan's small ship should have been destroyed in seconds. Instead, alien shields layered around him like walls. He watched as Valkyra fought through command screens. Giving orders with perfect control, she trusted the fleet with her life, and they trusted her judgment. The enemy retreated quickly, unwilling to face full destruction. Silence returned, broken only by damaged ships drifting away when it was over. Valkyra turned to Ethan. You see now, she said. My people will not abandon a claimed mate. Ethan shook his head slowly. This is insane, he said. I'm just a human pilot. Valkyra placed a hand on her chest again, a sign of respect. Humans are strange, she admitted. You face gods with words and survive. The ship exited faster travel, revealing a massive red world ahead. Cities covered its surface like glowing scars. War banners floated in orbit. That's your home. Ethan said quietly. Yes, Valkyra replied. And now, possibly yours. Ethan watched alien fighters escort him down toward the planet. His heart pounded with fear and something else he could not name. He realized the danger was not dying. The danger was surviving long enough to be judged. Ethan had always believed fear felt loud, but this fear was quiet, heavy, and pressed against his chest as the alien capital world grew larger beneath his ship. The planet glowed deep red, wrapped in storms and fire, like it was still being forged by angry gods. Massive alien cities rose from the surface, built from black metal and sharp angles, each one marked with symbols of war and honor. His small human ship looked like a toy, flying toward a throne of giants. Alien fighters surrounded him on all sides, their movements precise and cold. No one spoke to him, which somehow felt worse than threats. Valkyra stood beside him again, fully repaired now, her armor shining like living steel. She looked untouched by doubt, while Ethan felt like his bones were made of glass. Once we land, Ethan said slowly. What happens to me? Valkyra did not answer right away. That depends, she finally said. On how you stand, Ethan frowned. Stand, he repeated. In judgment, she said. My people will look at you and decide if you are worthy of the claim you made. Ethan swallowed hard. And if they decide I'm not, Valkyra turned to him, her glowing eyes serious. Then you die with honor. That sentence landed like a blade. Ethan looked away toward the planet, his hands shaking slightly. Great, he muttered. No pressure at all. The ship entered the atmosphere, flames licking the shields. Below them waited a massive landing platform carved into a mountain. Thousands of alien warriors stood in formation, their armor red and black, their weapons resting against the ground. As Ethan stepped out of the ship, the air felt heavier, thicker. Every alien eye turned toward him at once. He felt small, in a way he never had before. Whispers spread through the crowd, sharp and fast. A human, so fragile. This is the claimed one. Ethan forced himself to walk forward. He remembered something his old flight instructor once said. If you are scared, walk anyway. Valkyra walked beside him, her presence silencing the crowd. She raised one hand, and the whispers died instantly. This human, she announced, stood unbroken before me in death's shadow. The aliens watched Ethan closely now, no longer curious, but judging. A group of elder warriors stepped forward, larger and older, their armor marked with countless battle scars. One elder spoke, his voice deep and slow. He is small. He is soft. How can this be worthy of a war goddess? Ethan felt heat rise to his face. He wanted to shout, to defend himself. But something told him that would be the wrong move. Valkyra did not react with anger. Instead, she looked at Ethan. Speak, she said simply. Every instinct screamed at Ethan to run, but there was nowhere to go. So he took a breath and did something very human. He told the truth. I am weak, Ethan said. His voice steady despite the fear. I cannot lift your weapons or survive your wars. The crowd reacted with low sounds of shock and anger. Admitting weakness was shame in their culture. Ethan continued before they could stop him. But I still chose to help. I still stood there and spoke when I could have fled. The elders narrowed their eyes. One stepped closer, towering over Ethan. Words do not win wars, the elder said. No, Ethan replied, but they start them. And they end them. The silence that followed felt dangerous. Valkyra watched him closely now. Something changing behind her eyes. The elder raised a clawed hand. Then prove your value, he said. You will face the trial of worth. Ethan's stomach dropped. What kind of trial? He asked. The elder gestured toward a massive arena carved into the mountain. Not strength, he said. Not battle. Ethan felt a flicker of hope. Then what? Choice, the elder replied. Inside the arena, 3 paths waited. One led to weapons, sharp and powerful. One led to riches, glowing with energy and promise. The third led to prisoners, captured enemies chained and silent. The elder spoke again. Choose one. Ethan looked at the paths, his mind racing. Weapons meant power. Riches meant safety. Prisoners meant responsibility. He looked at Valkyra, but she did not guide him. This choice was his alone. Slowly, Ethan walked toward the prisoners. The crowd erupted in shock and anger. Murmurs of disbelief spread like fire. Why? The elder demanded. Ethan turned back. Because power without people is nothing, he said. And fear makes enemies that never stop fighting. The elder studied him for a long moment. Then he stepped aside. You surprise us, he said. But the trial was not over. As the prisoners were released, alarms suddenly rang out across the city. Enemy signals appeared on the horizon, fast and aggressive. A rival empire had chosen this moment to strike. The elders turned to Valkyra. The claim has brought war, one said. Valkyra's hand moved to her weapon. War always comes, she replied. Ethan looked at the incoming threat, his heart racing. He realized something terrifying this time. Hiding behind words might not be enough. As the sky darkened with enemy ships, the elders looked back at Ethan. Now we will see, one said, whether human weakness is a curse or a weapon. The sky above the crimson world burned as enemy ships broke through the clouds. Long shadows passed over the arena, and the ground shook with distant explosions. Alien warriors rushed into formation. Weapons alive with power, Ethan stood in the center of it all. His heart pounding so hard, he thought the others might hear it. He expected Valkyra to charge into battle, to end the threat with force like the legend she was. But instead, the elders raised their hands. Stopping the army, this is still a trial, one elder said, his voice echoing across the arena. The enemy comes not by chance. Ethan turned sharply. You knew this would happen, he said, the elder's eyes locked onto him. Every claim is tested, he replied, especially one this unusual. Valkyra did not deny it. She stepped closer to Ethan, her massive frame shielding him without thought. This is where many fail, she said quietly. They fight when thinking is required. The enemy ships began landing outside the city walls. Scouts reported fast-moving units, advanced weapons, and no interest in honor. They came to destroy, not challenge. The elders turned to Ethan. You chose prisoners over weapons, one said. Now choose again. Ethan felt every eye on him. Choose what? He asked. How to respond, the elder answered. Without Valkyra lifting her blade, Ethan's breath caught. They were asking him to stop an invasion with nothing but his mind. He closed his eyes for a moment. Blocking out the noise, he remembered human history. Old wars, bad choices, clever tricks. Humans survived not because they were strong, but because they adapted. Give me access to your city systems, Ethan said suddenly. And your prisoners? The elders exchanged looks. You would trust enemies, one asked. I already do, Ethan replied, and so do you. You just do not admit it. But Kira studied him, then nodded once. Do as he asks, she commanded. Inside the city control chamber, Ethan worked fast. Alien technology was advanced but direct. Built for warriors, not thinkers, he found patterns. Supply routes, energy limits, the prisoners were brought before him. Enemy soldiers shocked and confused. Ethan spoke plainly. You were sent to die, he said. Your leaders do not care if you live. Some spat at him, others listened. Humans had learned long ago that fear and truth together were powerful. Outside the walls, the enemy attack began. Heavy weapons struck shields again and again. Alien defenders waited, tense, confused by the lack of orders. Then Ethan gave his first command. Open Corridor 7. A section of the city shield dropped, just enough to look like a mistake. Enemy forces rushed in, eager and reckless. The moment they crossed the line, Ethan rerouted power. Gravity surged, slamming invaders into the ground. Energy systems overloaded, disabling their weapons without killing them. Gasps spread through the control room. No blood, an elder whispered. Ethan was not done. He transmitted messages using the prisoners' codes. False reports, delayed orders, confusion spreading like a virus. The enemy fleet hesitated, then argued among itself. Their perfect strike turned into chaos. Valkyra watched the battle from above. Awe slowly replacing doubt. He bends war, she murmured. He does not fight it, minutes later. The enemy retreat began, broken and disorganized. Not a single city wall breached, not a single blade raised by Valkyra. Silence followed, deep and stunned. Alien warriors looked at Ethan not with anger now, but uncertainty. The elders approached him slowly. You protected the city, one said, without strength. Ethan exhaled shakily. My people learned a long time ago, he replied. Winning is not about crushing enemies. It is about ending the fight. The lead elder lowered his head slightly. A gesture never given to outsiders. Your weakness, he said, is discipline. Valkyra stepped beside Ethan, placing her hand on his shoulder for all to see. This human stands, she declared, not because he is strong, but because he chooses restraint. The crowd erupted. Not in cheers, but in something deeper, respect. Ethan felt his legs tremble. The trial was over, but the danger was not. One elder spoke the final words of the day. The claim is no longer in question, but greater forces will not accept this outcome. Ethan looked up at the burning sky. He had survived gods, warriors, and war. But he knew one thing for sure now. The galaxy had noticed him. The celebration did not last long. Ethan could feel it in the air. The tension never truly faded. Alien warriors returned to their posts, but their eyes kept drifting toward the stars. High above the crimson world, sensors screamed again. This time it was not a raid or a test attack. It was a full invasion force. Massive warships appeared from folded space, larger than anything seen before. Their hulls were marked with the sigil of the Void Dominion, an empire known for wiping out entire species. They did not send threats or warnings. They sent a message. This world now belongs to us. The cold voice echoed across every channel. Hand over the human, and we may allow you to survive. Ethan felt his chest tighten. So this is about me, he said quietly. Valkyra's jaw hardened. They fear what you represent, she replied. A weakness they do not understand. The elders gathered in the war chamber. The mood darker than before. Our fleets are strong, one elder said. But the Void Dominion does not retreat. Another elder turned toward Ethan. You brought attention, he said, not accusing, just stating truth. Ethan nodded slowly. I know, he said, and I won't hide from it. That surprised them. Humans were supposed to beg or run. Ethan did neither. What is your plan? Vakira asked him. Her voice calm but intense. Ethan studied the star map. Red symbols spreading fast. They want me, he said. Which means they think taking me will break you. He looked up, meeting every alien gaze in the room. So let's prove them wrong. The Void Dominion fleet began their advance. Crushing outer defenses with brutal force, alien ships fought bravely, but were pushed back. For the first time, Vakira's empire was losing ground. Ethan watched the battle feeds, his hands clenched. He saw warriors die protecting cities. He felt the weight of every life pressing on him. Give me control of long-range broadcast, Ethan said suddenly. The elders hesitated. You would speak to them, one asked. Yes, Ethan replied. They think humans are weak. Vakira nodded once. Let him speak, she ordered. Ethan activated the channel. His image projected across space, small and human, against massive alien warships. He took a breath and spoke plainly. You came for me, Ethan said. So here I am, the enemy commander laughed. A soft creature dares face us? The voice mocked. Ethan did not raise his voice. You have already lost, he said. Silence followed, and more laughter. You see strength only in weapons, Ethan continued. That is why you will never win, as he spoke. Alien engineers quietly followed his instructions. Energy signatures shifted, fleets repositioned. The Void Dominion did not notice until it was too late. Ethan had mapped their command logic. Rigid and proud, he predicted every move. Every response, when they advanced, they fell into traps of misdirection and false retreats. Alien fleets that had seemed broken suddenly reappeared behind enemy lines. Supply ships vanished, communication failed. Confusion spread through the Void Dominion ranks. Vakira led the counterattack herself, this time with Ethan's strategy guiding her. She struck not with rage, but precision. The enemy fleet began to fracture. Ships collided, commands conflicted, their strength turned against them. Then the Void Dominion did something desperate. They targeted the surface, aiming weapons at the cities below. If we cannot win, their commander snarled, we will erase you. Ethan's heart stopped. They will kill civilians, he said. Vakira's fists clenched. That is dishonor, she growled. Ethan stepped forward, his voice sharp now. Then let me end it, he said. He opened a final channel, sending one simple message. If you fire, Ethan said calmly, you will never leave this system. The Void commander hesitated. Not from fear, but doubt. That doubt was enough. Alien fleets struck with full force. Vakira's blade cut through the enemy flagship, ending the invasion in fire and silence. When it was over, space was filled with wreckage and drifting lights. The Void Dominion had retreated, broken and humiliated, back in the war chamber. No one spoke for a long moment. Then one elder finally said it. The human did not just defend us. He changed how war is fought. Vakira turned to Ethan. Her expression no longer just respect, but something deeper. You stand equal among us now, she said. Ethan exhaled slowly, exhaustion washing over him. He had survived another test, but he knew the truth. This war had made him more than a mistake. It had made him a symbol. The silence after the battle felt heavier than the war itself. Broken ships drifted like ghosts across the stars. Victory had been won, but it came with a cost that could not be ignored. Ethan stood alone on a high balcony overlooking the Crimson Capital. Below him, alien warriors moved with new purpose. They no longer looked at him with doubt. They looked at him with expectation. That scared him more than any enemy fleet. Behind him, Vakira approached quietly. Her armor removed, her presence still powerful. "You should rest," she said. "You carry too much." Ethan gave a weak smile. "Humans do that," he replied. "We carry things until they change us." Valkyra stood beside him. Staring out at her world, "The elders will meet soon," she said. "They will decide your place among us." Ethan's chest tightened. "My place?" he repeated. "Yes," Valkyra said. "You are no longer a guest or a mistake." The words hung between them. Ethan had known this moment was coming, but knowing did not make it easier. Later, in the Hall of War, the elders gathered again. This time there was no anger in their eyes, only seriousness. "The galaxy watches us," the lead elder said. "What happened here will echo." Another elder stepped forward. "The human has altered balance," he said. "Others will fear us. Or follow us." Ethan felt every gaze turn toward him. "We cannot pretend I don't exist," he said quietly. "And I won't let you bleed because of me," the elders murmured among themselves. Valkyra remained still, her face unreadable. Finally, the lead elder spoke. "We offer you bond and station," he said. "You will stand beside Valkyra as war consort and voice of strategy." The room fell silent. This was more than survival. This was power. Ethan's mind raced. If he accepted, humanity would gain protection, influence, and fear. If he refused, this alliance might shatter. "But there is another path," the elder continued. "You may return to your people." Ethan's heart skipped. "You would let me go?" he asked. "Yes," the elder replied. "But you would leave behind what you have built." Ethan turned toward Valkyra. For the first time since they met, she looked uncertain. "I will not bind you," she said, her voice lower. A forced bond is weakness. That honesty struck him hard. She had every reason to claim him, yet she offered choice. That night, Ethan received a message from Human Command. Their faces filled the screen, tense and afraid. "You caused a storm out here," one officer said. "Every major power is talking about you." "We need you back," another added. "You are proof humans matter." Ethan closed his eyes. Two worlds pulled at him from opposite sides. Both needed him for different reasons. He walked the city alone, past statues of fallen warriors, past training grounds filled with young soldiers watching him with hope. He realized something then. This was not about choosing one world over another. It was about choosing what kind of bridge he would be. At dawn, the elders gathered again. Valkyra stood beside the throne. Tall and calm, Ethan stepped forward, every step heavy with meaning. "I will not rule," Ethan said clearly, "and I will not run." The elders leaned forward. "I choose to stand between," he continued, "not as a weapon, not as a king. I choose to be a voice." Murmurs filled the hall, confusion and shock mixing together. Valkyra turned toward him, eyes widening slightly. "I will stay," Ethan said, "but not as property or prize. I will stand beside Valkyra as equal, and speak for those without power." The hall went silent. Then slowly, the lead elder lowered his head. "A human choosing responsibility over comfort," he said. "This changes everything." Valkyra placed her hand over her chest, then extended it toward Ethan. "Then stand with me," she said. Not as claimed, but as chosen, Ethan took her hand. And in that moment, the galaxy shifted. The decision did not end the danger. It multiplied it. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. A human had stood beside a war goddess and refused a throne. To some empires, this was inspiring. To others, it was terrifying. Ethan became a name spoken in war rooms and shadow councils. Not as a warrior, but as a problem. A human who proved strength did not need claws or fleets. On the Crimson World, life changed quietly. Alien warriors trained harder, but also listened more. For the first time, strategy halls included questions, not just commands. Ethan worked beside Valkyra daily. Not behind her, not above her. But beside her, they argued often. She believed in decisive force. He believed in careful pressure. Somehow, together, they found balance. Many expected Valkyra to dominate him. Instead, they watched her listen. That alone shocked the galaxy. One cycle later, a new threat emerged. Not an invasion, not a fleet, but an alliance of fearful empires. They sent envoys demanding Ethan's removal. He disrupts order, they claimed. He weakens tradition, the elders gathered again. Tension thick. This may cost us peace, one warned. Ethan stood calmly, hands open. Peace built on fear is not peace, he said. It is just silence before screaming. The alliance issued an ultimatum. Surrender the human or face total war, for the first time. Valkyra looked angry, truly angry. She stepped forward, voice cold and clear. He is not ours to surrender. The galaxy held its breath.